starting line to the finish line, and everything in between. Duncan Racing Designs is here to supply you with the livery you didn't know you needed. Let DRD help you look good so you can drive fast. Contact Duncan Racing Designs on Instagram, trading paints, or via email.
NCC Sim Racing is at a more familiar track. If you've watched any V-Speed, you'll recognize this configuration. BMW Car Club of America. Live tonight, 20 minutes, 20 laps, 2 heats, and live from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, we've got Roval Racing here tonight. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. And if we look at the schedule all season long, it's been more of the same, turning right, something I'm not used to. But here's the configuration with 16 turns, 2.28 miles for the Charlotte Roval. And as they pace around, let's go trackside and get that grid for you. Starting on the pole is Aaron Dietrich with Clint Fletcher, and the outside, Dominic Ford, Perry Duncan, the second row. Row number 3 is going to be David Curtis and Bruce Wiley. Darren Treacle and Adam Pohl, 7th and 8th position, and then rounding out the top 10 is Colin Kortanik and Justin Craig. Brian Kennedy is going to start 11th with Matthew Guazinda in 12th, 13th Mike Nickham with Peter Lanik in 14th, and rounding out your 16-car field here tonight is Scott Kim with Carlos Bonds. Under the lights here tonight in the Charlotte Roval. And the hang tight on the back of Matthew Guazinda. Remember, Guazinda had some problems there last week. We went to a track that I was not familiar with at all, and the configuration looked tough. But here we go with all the headlights, the track lights, and the pole setter right here. Guazinda gonna lead him off into the hard left-hand turn right at the exit of pit road here tonight. So I'm glad I got to make it here tonight. If we have any connection interruptions, I apologize. We've been having some spotty service here in my area. But hopefully we can bring you flag-to-flag coverage all race long. BMW Car Club of America race number 5 here tonight. All right, setting up. Pace car going to make that left-hand turn down pit road, and we're going to set them off. 2 Porsches on the front row, and into the final chicane, they're going to take the green flag. Race number 5 about to be underway. Green flag is out, and here we go. And already Perry Duncan loses control. He takes out, looks like Peter Lanik also involved with that. And to lead lap number 1, it is going to be Matthew Quizinda, able to hold on to it. Just behind him, Brian Kennedy in the number 77. These guys have been doing a pretty good clip, about a second and a half ahead of Justin Craig. He's right on board here with the number 208. Into turns 5 and 6. Now into the final run out of the Roval into NASCAR 1 and 2. Running it out a little bit wide there for the number 208. But he catches up to the back of Brian Kennedy. And up on the back bumper now as they exit the bus stop. Battle here for second position on the outside going into the final chicane. And down pit road already for the 77. Not sure if this is a scheduled stop or not, but he comes down pit road. Brian Kennedy taking an early exit down here. So the 77 is going to park it here after starting the second position. Not entirely sure if this is a scheduled pit stop or not, but I'm going to guess that it isn't. And here's a battle for the third spot. Adam Pohl gets around on the inside, passes Colin Kortanek, and now Kortanek has more company with Darren Treacle. So a little bit more familiar. I know Charlotte very well. I've actually driven the Roval, not a fan personally, but these guys making it look easy out here. These GTE cars thundering around this place, making it look smooth. Stock cars, not so much. Have to take these corners a lot slower. Back here for the 6th position. Pretty much 5th through 7th. They're right on top of each other. From Adam Pohl on back. And a car off the racetrack, that is the 32. No, rather the 208 goes off the racetrack. Takes it a little bit wide there in turn 5. Let's go back on an instant replay and see what happened here to the 208. He just takes it a little bit too wide, locks up the rear tires, and that allows an entire freight train of cars to go by. Falls all the way back to the 8th position. Now trying to fight his way back up there. Picks up one spot. The battle right behind him between Dominic Ford and Aaron Dietrich. A lot of places to pass at this racetrack. It's going to be fast action as you see Dominic Ford into the inside of the 208 for 7th position. Doesn't get the move. Doesn't have the drive off to complete that pass, and Craig's going to stay in 7th. Checking back up here with Adam Pohl and Treacle. Treacle has kept Pohl in check. But after the 208 goes off the racetrack, that puts Adam Pohl up in the 2nd position. Matthew Gwazinda has ran away with it so far. 3.3 seconds as he comes into the bus stop. That car is just mowing down this racetrack. It is unbelievable to see cars that are actually designed to corner what they can do here at the Roval. Bruce Wiley having some issues. He's down on the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like the back end of that Ferrari is all messed up. Let's go back and see what happened to him. He's down on the apron here. Let's go back one more. Sure, if he got some help here, he hits the outside wall and gets sandwiched. That happens right in front of Dominic Ford. He falls all the way back. He comes down pit road to get some service to that machine, and thankfully, looks like he had a fast repair. A pass for 2nd position. Darren Treacle gets around Adam Pohl. Adam Pohl dives to the inside to try to get some air on the nose just before the bus stop. And taking it wide right back to 2nd position. Adam Pohl makes a great move. And now Cortanic on the outside. Oh, and he gets loose. He slides through. And now Dominic Ford going to go by on the outside. Actually, Clint Fletcher. Craig has fought his way back up to 7th position, but during this first heat with about 12 minutes left, 2nd through 8th position is not settled out. Creeping up to the 5th position, Dominic Ford on the back of Colin Cortanic, and it looks like through NASCAR 1 and 2, that's going to spread out a little bit. Dietrich all over the back bumper of the 208 as they go into the bus stop here on the outside. Gwazinda, his lead's dwindling down a little bit. It's down to 2.7. And Adam Pohl, Darren Treacle have not given up. Oh, and off the track here for the 9. Dominic Ford having some issues. Maybe some overheating. He did get into the back of, I believe, Bruce Wiley. That was earlier on. So maybe coming down pit road for that damage, maybe hindering that car. But all over the back bumper here for 2nd position. Treacle taking that wide exit like we saw before when he got that pass on the number 14. Here he goes back up to the bumper, onto the outside. And into the bus stop, not going to be able to complete that pass. Was in another time zone right now. Pulls it back out to 3 seconds. Battle heating up here for the 6th position. Side by side across the line. Now to the inside, the preferred line to go into turn 1. Aaron Dietrich trying to take away the 6th position from Craig. They make a little contact out of turn 2. Craig's going to hold on for another lap, but it's looking like the 96 is going to get by him here very soon. Another peek to the inside. Craig not able to run his line, but then Dietrich makes a little mistake there and gives up some ground. Now David Curtis into the mix. 2 cars off the racetrack for the night. Dominic Ford and Peter Lanik have parked it down on pit road. The battle that has not subsided yet. Adam Paul and Darren Treacle still going at it here. And slowly, Clint Fletcher working his way closer to this battle. Oh, and a pass here into turn 1. A nicely done move. Treacle takes away 2nd spot from Pole. And goes out wide here. But able to hold on to it. 8 minutes remaining in the first heat. It goes Gwizinda, Treacle, Cole, Fletcher, and Kortanik, the top 5. And contact with the outside wall. Dietrich makes a little mistake again, but he's all over the back bumper now of the 208. And the 43 all over his back bumper. Weaving back and forth, setting him up for the pass into the bus stop. The 96 not able to get the run. And a mistake made by the 208, and that allows Curtis to go by. We saw this run coming off of NASCAR 1 and 2. Just a little bit of a mistake there for the 208. Craig's going to fall back to the 8th position. That's another mistake there for the 208. Curtis isn't out of the woods yet, though. Dietrich was trying to make that pass. Curtis saw the opportunity with those two making a wild mistake in the bus stop. He's able to get 2 positions, but he still has the 96 all over his back bumper. So checking back up front here. Gwizinda has led 12 laps here. He has Darren Treacle breathing down his neck. This battle's starting to shape up for the lead. Will Gwizinda be able to hold on to the lead? It looks like the 70 is going left and right as they creep up on the exit of the Roval into NASCAR 1 and 2. It looks like on the inside here. Change for the lead. Darren Treacle gets a great exit. Let's see if we can get a little bit better camera angle of that. And a pass back, so we're going to watch that as well. Here's the exit of into NASCAR 1 and 2. Oh, Guazinda makes a big mistake, so we're going to have to continue on here. Here's the pass back. They make a contact, and Guazinda shoots it clean off the racetrack, makes a huge mistake, loses all that time. But Adam Pohl gets back into the second position. Gets back around into the second spot with 4.5 left. Can Pohl get up there and try to battle for the lead? So many different opportunities here for these drivers to make passes, get good exit speed. You got this high banking to set up a run just before the bus stop. It is a very technical circuit, but also high speed. Unfortunately, Matthew Guazinda falls back to the 5th position after starting first and leading 11 laps. Not able to lead in the last 5 minutes of this heat. He's going to fall back into the top 5, just on the edge of it. Aaron Treacle takes over the lead. He's led 2 of them now. Adam Pohl falls back to 3rd. Let's see what happened here with Pohl. I believe it happens here in the last chicane. Clint Fletcher able to make a good move. Oh, he hits the outside wall and bends the spoiler on that Porsche. So unfortunately, Adam Pohl with a little bit of damage there in the right rear. Treacle trying to run away with it. 2-second lead here with 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. These drivers most likely going to get the white flag next time by. Everybody pretty spread out now, about a second separating the entire field each way. You can see all the way back here to Perry Duncan in the number 8. He is about 26 seconds off of the lead. 6 seconds back to the nearest driver, Scott Kim, in 9th. Justin Craig, who was up towards the front, had some mistakes. He is currently in the 8th position. David Curtis in the 43. Coming into turn 4. He had taken advantage of some mistakes, but not able to maintain the position. He is in 7th now. Dietrich pulls out. He is catching up as we approach white flag to Matthew Guazinda for the top 5 here. And all over the back bumper as they come out of the bus stop. A final move here. White flag is out. Treacle just has to get around this place one more time with a 2.7 second lead over Clint Fletcher in the 2nd position. Adam Pohl in 3rd with that right rear damage that we talked about before. Colin Kortanek in 4th. Guazinda with a hungry Dietrich all over the back bumper here. But coming out of NASCAR 3 and 4 for the final, actually 1 and 2 for the final time, Darren Treacle into the bus stop. 2.5 seconds, just has to be nice and smooth into 3 and 4. And he has heat number 1 wrapped up. 2.6 seconds, no mistakes into the final chicane. Treacle looking like he's gonna win heat number 1. And as he exits the final turn, it's gonna be the 70 of Treacle with the win in heat 1. Fletcher coming in second position. Adam Pohl crossing in third. Let's see off the line there. That's going to be Guazinda holding on to 5th. And it looks like these guys all using turn 1 wall. Let's go back and look at that. The carnage. They were booting him over top of the wall. All right, so heat number 1 goes to the number 70 of Darren Treacle. Let's see if we can pull him up into the broadcast booth. Darren Treacle actually muted and deafened. Darren, you got a copy?
I do.
There he is. All right, Darren, we saw the mistakes being made by several different drivers. You're able to capitalize on the fact that these guys overdrove their stuff or got into the wall. There's so many different mistakes, and you come home in first on the heat number 1. How does it feel, man?
It feels good. Yeah, I didn't really get any practice, so the qualifier was my practice / qualifier. But I know the track. I've been here in real life, so I'm pretty familiar with it. But yeah, no, it was good. I just needed to stay out of trouble. It's a hard track to pass on, and just kind of be there to capitalize if there were some mistakes, and it just happened to work out.
Looked like the what was, oh man, I don't even know why I'm drawing a blank right now. The leader started on
Matthew.
the pole. Matthew. Okay, so we had Guazinda start out with probably about a 3.5 second lead. You were able to navigate around Adam Pohl. You actually had started, I believe, back in the 4th position, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I believe it was right around 4th or 5th or something like that. Yep.
So you're able to navigate. Tell us a little bit. I'm familiar with the oval setup of this racetrack, but talk a little bit about how that mixes in with the technical spots in the infield.
Yeah, you can it's tough because you can get a good run. These cars are so fast, and it's hard to pass on the oval section and the little bit of distance that you have to get to the little chicane there, bus stop or whatever they call it. It's a very challenging track to pass on, especially in these cars, unless someone makes a mistake, or their pace just isn't quite there. So it's pretty interesting.
Nonetheless, we have second heat coming up. Good luck out there. And as
Thank you.
invert the field, you're going to start in the last position, I do believe. So
I
good
do.
luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is the number 70 of Darren Treacle, and we are going back here ready for stage number 2. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back live here on V-Speed 2 right after this.
From the starting line to the finish line, and everything in between, Duncan Racing Designs is here to supply you with the livery you didn't know you needed. Let DRD help you look good so you can drive fast. Contact Duncan Racing Designs on Instagram, trading paints, or via email. And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Slack.
Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live, getting ready to set him back up, pacing around the Roval for heat number 2, BMW Car Club of America, race number 5 at the Charlotte Roval. Winner of heat number 1, Darren Treacle, going to start back in the 12th position, but it's Mike Nickum, Bruce Wiley, Justin Craig, Perry Duncan, and Scott Kim, the top 5 for this second heat. David Curtis, Aaron Dietrich, Matthew Guazenda, who started on the pole in the last one, back in 8th. 9th will be Colin Kortanik, Adam Pohl in 10th, Clint Fletcher 11th, Treacle, like we said, in 12th, Kennedy 13th, and Carlos Bonds in the 14th position. A couple of these cars that are out for the night, Dominic Ford and Peter Lanik taking it early exit here tonight. So we're all set, doubled up, ready to go for heat number 2. And Mike Nickum is going to lead them into turn 1 in that Ferrari. Porsches have been pretty dominant here tonight. Would be good to see maybe a Ferrari get up there into the top 3. The BMW is struggling a little bit as well. The Porsches really have rocked this Roval. And you can see them back there on the prowl from about 4th, 5th position back. All right, sorry for that. Just trying to get things sorted as we line up. A lot of people, high demand for V-Speed and their content. And if you're not subscribed to the channel here on V-Speed 2, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell down at the bottom so you get notified and never miss a single race as we're going green. Back underway, and heat number 2 at the Roval is back live. And leading lap number 1, it is a Ferrari, and it's Mike Nickum. So starting up front, that clean air has been beneficial here to the number 57, but he has the 67 of Bruce Wiley breathing down his neck now from second spot. And already peeking to the inside very quickly there in turn 3. You get the sense that these guys that up front are on borrowed time with the tires. It's just looking that way. Justin Craig, who struggled there, had glimmers of greatness and a few mistakes were made, put the 208 kind of far back. He finds himself in the 3rd position here. Might be in a good spot to try to take over this lead. Perry Duncan back here in the 5th spot. Duncan had a kind of a bad start in that first heat. Found himself outside the top 10. Looks like that BMW is still struggling a little bit here at the Roval tonight. But he is in the top 5. Started in 4th, lost 1 position in just a couple laps here. Let's see what he can do to hold on to this. The drivers that were up towards the front in that last run, checking in here with your stage winner, Darren Treacle. He's got his hands full with Brian Kennedy and Colin Kortanek. There's Adam Pohl in the number 9. Or number 14, rather, in 9th position. Getting flashed by the 69 of Fletcher. These guys trying to play a little distraction games in the mirror. Side by side here for Craig. Going into the final chicane. Thinks better of it. Doesn't have the inside run. So tough to pass like we talked about with Darren Treacle. 4 minutes in, already into this second feature, and it looks like Nickum is holding on to it, maintaining those tires. Side by side here for the second position. Right up on the outside is Craig. He's not quite clear. This all happening right behind your leader. Bruce Wiley gets by Nickum. And falling back through the field a little bit here. Looks like Matthew Guazinda was up there on a run. Harry Duncan to the inside for a brief moment on the 208. David Curtis works his way up into 3rd. So off of the exit here, out of the Roval, Bruce Wiley takes over the lead about 6 minutes into the race. And he has pulled out 1.5 seconds over Mike Nickum, who started up front. Wiley, I believe winless so far this season. trying to get it done at the Roval. Some drivers that have won. We've talked to Adam Pohl before. We've talked to Brian Kennedy. We've talked to Clint Fletcher. There's 5th spot, Matthew Guazinda. And some contact with the outside wall back here for the battle in 8th, 9th position. Darren Treacle is able to escape that. Colin Kortanik on the outside of Dietrich. Dietrich losing another position. Back to 10th now. He has Brian Kennedy all over the back bumper as they exit the Roval into NASCAR 1 and 2. A few of these drivers taking that wide exit. Kind of interesting to me that that's carrying so much speed down these straightaways. Battle for 2nd position shaping up though. David Curtis is trying to get around Mike Nickum. And then the final chicane loses a little bit, kind of maintaining that gap, and they go into turn 1. Nickum has lost 1 position already, trying to hold on to the top 3 here. Easier said than done. We've really seen the 43 of Curtis come to life here in this 2nd stage. Just behind them, Justin Craig trying to hold on to the 4th position. Matthew Guazinda, Perry Duncan in this mix as well. 4 through 6 pretty much on top of each other. Guazinda does not get a good run, and the car into the wall. I believe that was Scott Kim coming out of the exit. Has some right front damage. Hard hit to the outside wall there for Kim. Falls back to the 9th position after that. Now going to fall back to 10th. He has some aero damage on that right front. Now to 11th. Kennedy getting around. Kennedy actually in the grass there. And more problems here for the 7-Eleven. He locks it up in turn 1, I believe, going to park it for the night. And a car gets into him. That was Carlos Bonds. Kim takes it to pit road, but let's go back on the instant replay here. Nowhere for the 224 to go. Doesn't even see that coming. Unfortunate there for the 224. Nickum spins out into the bus stop and loses 2nd position. Let's see if he had some help. He just hits that rumble strip, sends the car sideways. Luckily, hits that soft barrier. Unfortunately, falls all the way back to 10th position after that. That makes Bruce Wiley your leader. David Curtis. And do these cars have lights on the windows? I don't know who paints these things, but that is beautiful. Let's see if we can get a good zoom in on that. This is looking at the 43 of David Curtis. He has the Joker on the hood. But I guess I never realized that these cars had LED, or if that's just part of the spec map. Not really sure how they're doing that, but that is beautiful. battle back here for 4th position. Gwizinda gets around, or is being hunted down by Darren Treacle, winner of heat number 1. This is for the 4th spot. Treacle really putting down the laps here. Can he go back-to-back in both features? Gets another position. Goes by for 4th now. That's about 5 seconds to make up. We have 7 minutes, about 8 minutes left. Now into NASCAR 1 and 2. Nickham, with even more problems, goes off the racetrack, loses another position. Falls back to the 11th position now after starting first. Falling through this field. And this is probably a product of that clean air, not being able to judge the tires wearing down, and unfortunately the 57 falls out of the top 10. 1.7 seconds though in the lead for Bruce Wiley over David Curtis. Justin Craig in 3rd position, a good turnaround compared to that first heat, but 1.7 seconds separate the 208 from the 70, and you know he's on the hunt here for a podium. Aaron Dietrich trying to work his way into the top 5. He's currently in the 7th position, all over the back bumper of Colin Kortanek. On board here with the number 32. You can see the 96 hunting that line, trying to find a weak spot. A little bit of right front damage there on the 96. But still getting a good run into 3 and 4. Ryan Kennedy creeping his way up here to this battle as well. He's currently in the 8th spot. Looking like he might have an opportunity to make a pass. Gonna have a 3-way battle from 6th back to 8th. Slowly creeping up here to the back of Matthew Gwizinda for the top 5. So starting to accordion. Another move to the inside here for Dietrich. Might have the run here, down to the apron. Kortanek takes him all the way down the track and closes the door. Not going to let him have the inside. Going to make Dietrich go to the outside. Treacle gets around the 208 for 3rd, so he's on the podium now. Has about 3.5 second gap to David Curtis for 2nd position. 4.5 minutes remaining for the number 70. Bruce Wiley in a time zone of his own right now, 1.5 seconds ahead of the 43. With those tires, oh, and a clip with the wall, that's not good. That loses him a couple tenths, and that car is going to be a little messed up. Now down to less than a second as they go into NASCAR 1 and 2. Trying to mitigate that mistake, but now 0.9 of a second separate the 67 and the 43. Darren Treacle might have his work cut out for him, but there is an opportunity here as he exits 3 and 4 into the final chicane. Bruce Wiley starting to show some sweat from this run. That right front fender not going to help him down these straightaways. Curtis on the prowl now. Half a second separating them. And 3.1 seconds for Treacle. Folks at home, very much an opportunity here for the 70 to win both stages here tonight at the Roval. As they complete another lap, probably going to get the white flag next time by. With 2 minutes remaining. Harry Duncan gets passed for the 6th position, but he's back on the back bumper of Colin Kortanik. Duncan started in 4th. He's fallen down 3 spots from where he began. Biggest mover of the race, though, is Darren Treacle with 9 spots gained. Currently running in 3rd, 2 seconds back. Bruce Wiley trying to hold on to it. He pulls the lead back out to about 8/10. Curtis starting to fall off now. Out of NASCAR 3 and 4, white flag going to come out this time by Bruce Wiley, trying to be mistake-free. 9/10 of a second as they go into the final chicane. Can he hold on to it? Pulls that lead out a little bit more. 1.6 seconds now between the 70 and the 43. Wiley slowly pulling that lead back out. Another 10th here into 3 and 4. Now coming up on turn 5. These guys right up on top of each other. About 1.5 seconds separating Treacle. Wiley looking in his mirror now. Looking back at Curtis. Just has to hold on to it for that final lap. Are in the wall, and that's Curtis. Now side by side for the 2nd position. Into the final chicane. Bruce Wiley is going to come across the line, the winner. But let's go back and check out Treacle as he gets by. A final turn pass and a 2nd place finish. Let's go back even further here. Let's ride with David Curtis as he makes this little mistake into the bus stop. They actually made contact. The Treacle actually had the pass completed from that mistake from Curtis. But Treacle letting him know, hey, look, you lost it once. I'm going to take it back from you in the final 2 turns. And in turn 16, Darren Treacle put on the pressure. But ultimately, it comes down to Bruce Wiley, who's able to hold on to it, the winner here tonight. Victory lap around this circuit for the number 67. Post-race interviews with your top three. You're watching the BMW Car Club of America NCC Sim Racing live on V-Speed 2. We're going to take a quick commercial break, round up your top three, and we'll be back right after this.
From the starting line to the finish line, and everything in between, Duncan Racing Designs is here to supply you with the livery you didn't know you needed. Let DRD help you look good so you can drive fast. Contact Duncan Racing Designs on Instagram, trading paints, or via email.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Roval gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes
Slack.
Slack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live, BMW Car Club of America has concluded its race. Its 2 heats here tonight at the Charlotte Roval. We're going to catch up down on pit road with your third place finisher here tonight. Catching up down here on pit road now with David Curtis, your third place finisher. And I know how it feels to make a mistake on the last lap. I know you fought hard. You got into the side of Treacle trying to break him up going into NASCAR 3 and 4. It just wasn't enough. He finally got you in that final chicane.
Yeah, hey Bradley. It was a really good race. I had a fun time chasing Bruce down. Very consistent driver. He did brush the wall a couple times. I thought I might have a shot. Halfway through the race, my wheel gave up coming through that same chicane, and it did the same thing on the last lap. I turned left, all feeling, and the wheel went away. So I was just trying to save it from hitting the wall on the left, and yeah, exiting, ended up getting into it with Darren a little bit. I'm just glad it didn't kill us both and we were able to continue and finish the race.
Well, I've seen a lot of action on ovals setups on this configuration, but the action that you guys put on here tonight at the Roval, it really does make a difference when you have cars that actually belong here and are meant to turn right and left. Just a great race overall. I enjoyed watching it. David, walk us through there. You were trying to chase down Bruce Wiley. What, aside from your wheel, what was going wrong there? Because it seemed like you had fallen off a little bit there towards the end.
Yeah, I kind of gave it a little bit of a break, trying to save a little bit of tire, hoping that I was putting enough pressure on Bruce to make him use up his front tires, while still trying to manage the gap behind me, right? I don't want too much pressure from behind. So I gave it a little break there in the middle of the race, and then tried to push it, and ended up wearing out my stuff before Bruce did. So great drive by him, and a really great drive from Darren to come up from behind quite a few cars back and put it into second.
Well, congratulations on the third place finish, David, and I know you got him, so go ahead and shout him out.
Yeah, well, thank you for the broadcasting. It's always great to go back and watch these replays and see it from the other side. And of course, appreciate all the guys that are putting this league on, and everybody helps learn and teach us all. And one last shout out to 2 seconds from Denver and my family. So appreciate it.
And I got to ask, how is it that window has it. Is that LEDs on the windows of that machine?
Yeah, so I've got LEDs on the window skirts and then also on the front of the rear view mirrors. They should be on all these cars actually. You can change the color, so I put mine as purple.
I'm gonna be honest, it looks pretty badass. I'm kind of jealous. So we don't have cool things like that on our stock cars where I come from. So that is pretty cool. Good looking paint, good looking finish. Congratulations, David. And maybe we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Bradley. Hope to be up front again next week. We'll see how it goes. Appreciate it.
Third place finisher here tonight in the number 54. That's David Curtis, or 43 rather. I apologize. Now moving on up through pit road, we've already talked to him once today. He got heat number 1 and looked like he had a potential to go back to back. You were chasing him down, just not enough time. Darren, wow, just what a drive. You pick up 10 spots. It felt like you probably passed a million cars, but that little mistake there with Curtis, and then you go into the final chicane to just put some punctuation on it. How does it feel to claw your way through the field like that?
It feels good. Yeah, I mean, it was wild. It's a very difficult track to pass on, and you just kind of have to, pick your spots and hope that people make mistakes to make it a little bit easier. So yeah, it felt good. It took me a little while to get up to third, and Dave Curtis and I think it was Bruce had a good lead on me, but I was catching them. And it was just, I just ran out of time, and I did, get up to second. Me and Dave had a little incident. Something happened with his wheel coming out of the chicane. And then I was still able to get him in the, in the last turn there. So yeah, it feels good. I would have liked to push forward and get up to the top spot, but I can't argue with second. So, I guess I have some pent up aggression from this past week at the SECA National Championships. So I was driving hard.
Driving like a pissed off teenager is what I call that. But nonetheless, man, you look good out there, and for only having practice and qualifying, that's a pretty big flex to just come out here and perform the way you did.
Yeah, thank you. It I'm very familiar with the M8, and I am pretty familiar with the with Charlotte. It's not my favorite track, but I just managed to have a good night and put it together. I mean, everybody drives great. They're quick. It's just you can't make many mistakes, and if you do, they can't be big ones because you're going to end up in a concrete barrier, because that's pretty much what's all around this track. So
yeah, they don't do sand traps in Redneckville. They put walls up.
They put walls up. Yeah.
So second place here tonight. You get stage heat 1. Do you have anybody again that you'd like to shout out while we got you up here?
Yeah, I'll put a shout out to myself, Treacle Insurance Agency, and then SEOMike. Perry Duncan is also one of the sponsors, I believe. You put on a good broadcast. Scott takes the time, sets all this stuff up, which is very much appreciated, I think, by me and everyone. It's a lot of fun getting together with these guys. The league started back in COVID when nobody could get to the track for real, and it's come a long ways, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, we've had a lot of explosion here with the sim racing world in general when it comes to what COVID and everything that happened. So it's good to see that still carrying over after the fact, and you guys seem to all get along. I can't believe that you all hang out in the same general chat. That's one thing that anybody viewing this broadcast right now, a lot of leagues will be split into team groups or individuals running quietly. You guys all race together in the same Discord channel.
Yeah, I'll jump in there, but I mute, put everybody on mute, because I don't want to hear a lot of the chitter chatter that's going on. I just want to, if I do any chatting, it's usually right through iRacing until after the race. But that's just my preference. But a lot of them do. They stay in there and chat the whole time.
Yeah, that's incredible to me. That's just how tight knit the group is. It's pretty incredible. But congratulations on second place here tonight, Darren.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Second place finisher here tonight, Darren Treacle, and almost a drive to back. But finally, we go down to victory lane where we have Bruce Wiley. And Bruce, it was getting tight there with about 3 or 4 minutes to go. I saw David Curtis starting to creep up there. He had you within about 3 or 4 tenths, but it's like you had an extra tank and you just put on the afterburners.
Right at the end, I did. Yeah, the key was I knew I wasn't as fast as a bunch of drivers behind me, but started out in a good position and just tried to stay consistent till the end.
That's what you got to do, and it's really hard to judge. We saw it happen to Matthew Guazinda that started the first heat. It's so hard to judge what's happening when you're trying to maintain that gap. You have no one in front of you. It's really easy to use up your stuff.
Yeah, it is. So I was looking at the times. There's probably half a dozen cars with better fastest laps than I had, but I knew I wasn't faster, so I just had to be consistent.
Well, looking at the times right here, fastest lap on the racetrack was Adam Pohl with a 1:14.9. That was his best lap in this stage. You ran an average of 1:15.401, so you're about 4 tenths off, but Adam Pohl finishes in 11th. You come home in first. Sometimes it doesn't really matter as long as you keep the tires under it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was fun.
It was a good time. It was fun to watch, and more in my neck of the woods. You guys coming out here racing on an oval, as I like to call it. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out, Bruce, for tonight's victory?
Yeah, Perry for the great livery, the Canada livery. I love it. And SEOMike and all the organizers, Brian and Scott, everyone who makes it happen. So it's a lot of fun. And yourself for broadcasting. Looking forward to watching the replay.
I generally have no idea what I'm talking about. I just I see cars and I make calls. That's what I do. Butcher names too while I'm at it. But Bruce, congratulations on the victory here tonight, and congratulations on putting yourself up there on the winner board, because it's a select few names and it's getting tighter as the season goes on. So good luck.
Thank you.
Hope to talk to you next week.
Thank you.
There's your race winner, Bruce Wiley, in the main feature, second heat of the night, getting it done here at the Roval. So let's get those final results up on the screen for you. It was a tight one. Bruce Wiley going to bring it home in first. Darren Treacle and David Curtis in the top 3. Aaron Dietrich able to get 4th position. Brian Kennedy in 5th. Colin Kortanek 6th here tonight. Perry Duncan 7th. 8th. Clint Fletcher 9th. Mike Nickum. Matthew Guazinda, the top 10. Unfortunate here for the 11th place finisher, Adam Pohl. Like we said, fastest car on the racetrack. Just not able to get the finishing position that he would have hoped for. Scott Kim with a few mistakes, going to bring it home 12th. Justin Craig in the 208, 13th. He was up in the top 5 for the beginning of this second stage. Falls back to the 13th position. Carlos Bonds 14th, and then 2 cars that elected not to run the second heat, taking an early exit in the first stage. Dominic Ford in the number 9, 15th here tonight, and Peter Lanik, the 294, 16th. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. The BMW Car Club of America, NCC Sim Racing, would like to thank Scott Kim and everybody that puts on this league. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on V-Speed 2 so you never miss a single race. We bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long for the BMW Car Club of America. But for everybody at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Alec Martinez, and Connor Horn, we thank you for watching tonight's broadcast, and we hope you have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.
Oh, big wiggle. Here comes Miles using the bottom sack car, closing in behind.
And here comes Miles, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned.
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag.